Did you really think this would work?
Cirrus, please, we want to help you. Don't do anything hasty.
Destroying you is as easy as flicking a pest.
No!
Sana!
Kirak!
How boring and small.
You want the Atlas? Take it. It's yours. But Orith, I will burn to the ground.
Perhaps the suffering of my fellow citizens will finally stir something.
Glorious flames! Embrace nothing.
What's this? A real challenge? You finally caught my attention. Die.
Why run? What's the point? Why resist? Creation itself! Rain of stars! Glorious flames!
The others found strength in their projections. They became reliant on them. I am not so foolish. Die.
This city is nothing! Obliteration! Be utterly annihilated!
Is life really interesting enough to warrant all this pain? Die.
Beyond, there is only horror.
Be silent. Die.
Watch beauty crumble! Glorious flames! Embrace nothingness. Be utterly annihilated. Fury of the cosmos! You are nothing!
Yet see the futility of your efforts.
My mana is gone.
Die.
Beyond, there is only horror.
Die.
This city is nothing! Be utterly annihilated! Rain of stars!
Edge of death, my heart braces. I am alive.
Everlasting fire! Die!
I'm not up to that just yet.
You will long for
Non-existence! Beyond, there is only horror. Be silent. Die. Everlasting fire!
The prize space comes to join
My collection.
a cascade of pain. Stand still.
returned tenfold. Space aligns. Behold my connection.
I will have what I want. Death will not be an escape. Scurry.
Death made real.
Stand still. A cascade of pain.
Death
Stand
made
still.
real.
Why?
Resistance will be punished. Time contorts. Scurry.
I'm not up to that just yet.
My irritation is growing. This will not be an escape. Scurry. A cascade of pain.
Death made real.
Stand still. A cascade of pain.
Death made real.
Still. Do what I say. How?
Stop resisting. Reality bends. Punishment inescapable.
Arrogant toy. Stand still. A cascade of pain. Take this. Death will not be an escape. Scurry. Stand still. A cascade of pain. Stand still. A cascade of pain. Stand still.
My mana is
Cascade
gone.
of pain. Take this. The prettiest piece makes the whole complete.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Death will not be an escape. Scurry, scurry! Stand still. A cascade of pain. My collection is complete. Stand still. A cas-
Hello, and welcome to my second ever PoE guide video. It's been a fun league. I've finished my challenges. I finished at level 98, pardon, and I finished all my 38 challenges. Got carried for some, of course, just to finish the league as I'm preparing for other types of content like Path of Exile for Dummies, which you guys seem to be enjoying. Thank you for that. But in this video, I will explain how the build works, what I've done with it, trials and errors with it, how I leveled it, and so on. So I have some few talking points, which is the first one, how does Elemental Hit work? Elemental Hit is one of the gems that scales highest per level in the game. So I got mine at level 28 thanks to some modifiers I'll explain further down the line, but Elemental Hit basically has extra damage, a lot of damage per level. So you want to get it as high as possible. So if we go and look at level 20, it deals, let's say, 480 lowest, then it's 523, level 28, 944. It's like double damage between those two levels. How it also does things is, you cannot deal any physical or chaos damage, you can only deal damage of the appropriate element that shoots from you. So it alternates between fire, cold, and lightning. It never does two of the same elements together. So it never does fire, fire, cold, cold, lightning, lightning. It always does fire, cold. It can do again fire, lightning, fire, cold, lightning, and so on. It never does fire, fire, or cold, cold, or whatever. Then there is this line as well. 10% more damage per elemental ailment on the enemy. Elemental ailments count as ignited, frozen, chilled, shocked as basic ones. And then there's their counterparts, which is brittle, sap, and scorch, which you can get via interrogation jewel, which we will tap into just to get that extra sweet damage. Now, for elemental hit, you want to do regular elemental hit, level 21. You can, the moment you hit maps, just do a few chaos recipes and so on, and just buy a level 21 with 0 quality. You just need levels, you don't need the quality, just to offset that level 18, 19, or maybe 17 that you get before maps. So there's that for elemental hit. You need technically 2 6-link setups if you don't want to gem swap. I personally hate gem swapping. So you would want, the only difference is one has barrage support and the other one has fork support. So you can just swap barrage fork if you would like to do that, and then you can add additional 6-link setup like a totem or something. But I haven't gone and explored that option myself for the long run. For the short run, however, I did do barrage and totems, and I didn't like it because whenever an enemy moves, the totem lags behind and shoots. So an enemy needs to be still for like 2 seconds before the totems will shoot the barrage at them. So I haven't found that as a good option. Your mileage may vary. I have done all tier 16 content. I've killed plenty of bosses. I haven't killed uber bosses because this build obviously is not for that. This build is for mapping mostly. I have done tier 16's 100% delirious maps slowly, but it is possible. And I've gone up to level 20 or level 25 or 26 wave in Simulacrum. Slowly, but it is possible. Very slowly, but it is possible. Now, we are based on evasion. We are doing full evasion build. Now, for items that I use per slot, and I will talk about this a little bit more as you level, the bow is the simplest one. You get the bow attacks fire 1 or 2 additional arrows. You can get it with a fractured mod. And you just, if you get it with a fractured mod with bow attacks, fire additional arrows, like this one, or 1 additional arrow. 2 is like 30-40 divines. Just grab 1 for the beginning. You can just slam an essence on it. So this is Essence of Dread, so Shrieking Essence of Dread. You can slam that one on it and just leave it there. Just 1 slam, that's it. Get it 4-linked, 5-linked, whatever. And you'll be fine for a long, long time. If you have an open prefix and an open suffix, craft for the suffix mod cannot roll attack modifiers, Exalt Orb slam it, and you will always hit +1 to level of socketed gems, and then do whatever other suffix you want, and that's basically done bow. I got this bow for 100-ish chaos, 120-ish chaos, plus until I finished it, it was like 4.5 divines. It wasn't anything expensive. If you want better modifiers, like this one, global accuracy rating, light radius, and adds lightning damage removed, you need to get a fractured bow with 1 or 2 additional arrows, which is, of course, expensive. That's for the bow. I will explain how to craft that one in a bit after I finish with all the gear. First things first, what you want is, you want your 3-step assault boots. 3-step assault boots, because we're playing Raider and we have permanent onslaught and permanent phasing, these boots are a great way how we can up our defenses, because it gives us evasion rating during onslaught and it gives us chance to avoid elemental ailments while phasing. Combined with our Avatar of the Veil, 50% chance to avoid elemental ailments while phasing, and the down wheel for thick skin and the elemental ailment avoidance, we are 100% elemental ailment immune. That doesn't count poison and bleeding, however, and any exposure. But other ailments, we are immune to them, so our flasks can be quite offensive. These boots give around 8 to 10k evasion rating. I have 33k now. When I take them off, I have 23k. I don't have the quiver and bow equipped because of stats, but that's basically it. It gives an insane amount of evasion rating, which is what you'd like. So that's technically the only mandatory unique you need to jumpstart this build. For the second unique that we use, it is Replica Dragon Fang's Flight Onyx Amulet. This one can roll other gems. So it can roll any gem in the game, basically. I think it's any gem in the game, +3 to level of it. It gives you all LRS, it gives you reservation efficiency of skills, and items and gems have reduced attribute requirements, which means we can have less attributes and our build is going to work. As you see, we don't have any attributes at all, because we are getting them all from tattoos. Now, this one can be a divine. It was 50 chaos in the roughly-ish 2 weeks of the league. I think I have it somewhere here. There it is, the previous one, which is kind of a little bit worse than my current one. 2 LRS less, same reservation, and 5% reduced attribute requirements. But you can get that one for 50-ish chaos. At least it was back then. I don't know how much it is now. But that's basically it with the Anoint Alacrity. I'll talk about tattoos after the gear. Next item, we have our standard items. We have headpiece, standard headpiece, 2 elemental resistances, 1 chaos resistance, life, evasion rating. That's it. That's standard. What's not standard are the implicit modifiers. Implicit modifiers are Searing Exarch with increased elemental weakness curse effect, and Eater of Worlds increased effect of non-damaging ailments. First one didn't take long to roll. Second one, however, took roughly 65 to 70 grand Eater of Worlds thingies, currencies to roll. Those can be found in exotic here. Grand Eldritch Ikers. Those ones, it took like 2 divines of those. But I paid for one, I farmed the other one, that's perfectly fine. That's basically for your headpiece. For your gloves. For starters, grab any rare gloves. I'll get that in the leveling part. And then I found Hands of the High Templar as being a very good replacement, as you can get +1 to socketed gems, +2 to socketed aura gems, and you can add one more +2 to socketed AoE gems, but that gets even more expensive. Why? +1 to gems gives all gems in it +1, including Enlighten. +2 to aura or AoE gives Skitterbots, Grace, and Precision. It gives them +2. Theoretically, we get +3 because we have +3 on the gloves. You can get that to +5. That's gonna cost you money. These were 2 divines-ish. Then we have a bog standard ring. Elemental resistances, chaos resistances, that's it. Non-channeling, slap it, go. I didn't even want anything with life. Who cares about life? We're playing ranger, we are 100% spell suppress. If we have more than 3k life, we're fine. If we don't, whatever. If something hits us, we're dead. We play softcore. We don't play hardcore. So there's that. There's the other ring, which is an expensive one. This one was Divine and a half, which has, keep in mind, physical damage to attacks is a dead mod. Accuracy, curse with elemental weakness and lightning resistance. And chaos resistance. That's what we needed to cap us out. Now, you can upgrade this ring by more accuracy. You can upgrade it by suffixes cannot be changed, Scour Orb, suffixes cannot be changed, Eichling, or Veiled Chaos Orb to unveil a life. Once you unveil life, you can then slap non-channeling skills and GG, well played, that's it. You can slap an Exalted Orb and good luck, have fun with whatever you get there. So that's that ring. If you want better modifiers, it can be up to 4, 5, 6, or even 8 divines for that. I'll swap over to the belt. The belt is basically a regular Stitch Vice without any influence, which has 2 elemental resistances, 1 chaos resistance, because we need that. For prefixes, you can get life. It's going to up the cost a bit. This one was 75 chaos without life. As I said, we don't need life. It had mana. And then you want to grab Redeemer's Exalted Orb and slam the belt. You can get one of the 3 modifiers, which have up to 3 ranks, depending on the item level of the belt. You want belt item level 80, so you can hit rank 1. I have item level 75 belt, and it hit rank 2 Redeemers for damage. So you can have increased cold damage modifier, increased evasion rating modifier, and this one increased damage with hits against chilled enemies. To me, increased damage with hits against chilled enemies is BIS. Why? Because enemies are going to be chilled thanks to our Skitterbots. That's basically it. If you hit evasion rating or cold damage, don't fret. It's not a dead belt. You can still use it, buy a new one, slam a new one. It's less than a divine every time to gamble it. This is my 3rd or 4th belt I've slammed. You can get it, you don't have to get it, it's not needed, it helps. Okay, and the biggest item so far is the chest. Chest was 5 divines, and you can see here it has regular, apply additional curse, crit strike chance, evasion rating twice, dexterity, and aspect of the spider. I was looking for this chest specifically because I wanted an empty suffix so I can fit in aspect of the spider, which you will have mana later, as aspect of the spider gives your enemies 5% times 3, stacking up to 3, movement, so it's not movement, it's action speed slow, which reduces their attack speed, cast speed, movement speed by 15%. And it applies 15% increased damage taken, which means we deal 15% more damage towards them. So that's a great aura. The problem is, it's on the chest, and I have Inspiration, which increases the cost of Aspect of the Spider. What would be a better thing? To not have it on the chest, but to have it on the ring, and Elemental Resistance to have on the Orb Chaos Resistance to have on the chest. So that simple swapperoo. And it was an additional like 2 divines for I think it was total of like 5 or 6 divines to link it, to color it, and everything else. So that's basically for the chest. Before this chest, you want the bog standard chest. You don't give a damn about the chest. You just want the 6 link. 2 colors. GG, well played. This is my chest from the beginning of the league, literally from the August. So it's basically just a 2 chest I bought for 20-30 chaos. I didn't give a damn what it had, because I knew I was going to swap to a better chest later on down the track. I was using it just for the links, as I didn't have a 6 link bog back then. And one item that's RNG as Jesus is Quiver. Reason why is because of the chain. On the Quiver, the 2 or 3 main modifiers that you're looking for are: one is resistance, one is high resistance, like over 35%, one is bow attacks fire an additional arrow, and one is the corrupted arrows chain +1 times. I was lucky at the time. I bought this Quiver for 3 divines. It doesn't have a single dead mod. I use all of these mods. It would be better if it had aspect of the spider and a crafted mod, but I didn't want to play with double corrupting and Alva temples, as that's 1 divine per attempt to double corrupt. A Quiver that's already 1 to 2 divines, and it can stack up and rack up. I will do this if you really want to grab like better Quiver with the chain. Now, the thing is, if you double corrupt a Quiver and it hits +1 arrow, sell it. If it hits chain, use it. Why? Because then you can swap to fork support, as the projectiles will fork into 2 and then chain farther on. It will increase your damage by a lot when it comes to AoE encounters, but overall both are fine. That's basically Deadeye's Ascendancy that we are using on a Quiver. Okay, so that should sort things out here. With the flasks, they are regular, like damage flask and so on. Everything here will be in the description, in the POB as well, so nothing to worry about. I made a POB straight for that. But now, let me explain how we can craft the bow. We craft the bow by having a regular bow with bow attacks, fire an additional arrow. For a cheap bow, it doesn't matter what type of bow it is. It can be Decimation, it can be Citadel, it can be Solarin, even though that doesn't do that much. It doesn't matter what it is. What you want, you just want a rare bow, and you want to grab Essence of Dread. It says tier 1, 2 here because tier 2 is basically +1. But if you go with it and you buy essences, just buy Shrieking. Don't buy Deafening, as they are more expensive, but they do the same thing to a bow, +2 and +2. So you want to buy Shrieking. Now, we just take that Essence of Dread, we click it once, and we have what? Prefix modifier, +2 to socketed bow gems, tier 4 physical damage, that's a dead mod, tier 3 dexterity, that's a dead mod. But we have 2 prefixes, 2 suffixes, which is perfect. So then what you would do, you would click on a suffix, you would go to crafting bench, cannot roll attack modifiers, click it, it's a suffix roll, then grab an exalted orb, slam it, it's gonna hit +1 to level of socketed gems, and then you can just do any other suffix that you want. Do you want more attack speed? Sure. Attack speed craft, find where it is. Regular attack speed, kaboom. 11 to 13 attack speed. I prefer having focus. I love the idea of focus. We don't need that much attack speed because we have the insane effect of onslaught throughout the tree and whatnot, so we have a lot more attack speed, so you don't need that much. But if you like to play with attack speed, go to town, craft any suffix you'd like, and that's your cheap bow for the elemental hit. If you want, however, to do a bit more expensive stuff, you would go again like Essence of Dread, if it would allow me to do so. So there we go, Essence of Dread, and you want to click until you get something good as a suffix. Or you want to get like this maybe. Oh, there we go, like this. So you want to get just 1 prefix, 3 suffixes, you take an annul, hope it doesn't hit +2, and it hit +2, then you do it again. So then you do it again until you get it, but I will, for the sake of this video, I will just do it like this. There we go. So we click again and it removes a suffix. We do again attack modifiers, cannot roll attack mods. Then you slam an Exalted Orb, click, and then you do suffixes cannot be changed. That's 2 divines. Suffixes cannot be changed, and then you scour it. Pardon, prefixes cannot be changed. I'm an idiot. Okay, so we go prefixes. I keep mixing these up. Sorry, prefixes cannot be changed. And now you scour it. There we go. Now, once you do that, so be careful with the modifiers. Read them well. You go 3 crafted modifiers. Can have up to 3 crafted. You want to do element penetrates. Penetrates. It's a prefix. Damage. Oh, actually, penetrate, right? Yes. Attacks with this weapon penetrate elemental resistances. You slam that one on. And on the suffix, you want to do whatever suffix you want. I like focus. Double damage while focused. And kaboom, that's your bow done. I would suggest doing this if you have bow attacks fire 2 additional arrows. But that's on you. That's how I would do my endgame bow. The other thing is, you can get lucky on trade and search a bow that has 2 additional arrows and +2 to level assorted bow gems with 1 empty prefix and 1 empty suffix. So you could do that. As I said, I paid around 100-120 chaos, so half a divine for this bow. I added 1 divine for cannot roll attack mods. I added an Exalted Orb for +1 to level. And then I crafted chance to deal double damage while focused. I added 2 divines infusings. So 2 divines infusings, jewelers, whatever, colors, whatever. So let's count that as a half divine. That's 4 divines. So around 4.5 divines for you to finish it, including the does not increase fist damage, but increase crit strike chance. Which is a really darn good bow, but there are improvements, of course. So the penetration and so on. Now, so those are the items that I used in my playthrough that I finished the league with, that you've seen me killing Maven and Cirrus and other build versus bosses type of videos. But now, let's swap into auras and gems. So first, let's do gems. For gems, both AoE and single target is the same. Now, the only difference is barrage support and fork support. Those are the only differences. So, your gems are green, of course, elemental hit, green, barrage, or fork, or chain if you don't have chain on the quiver for the beginning. Red ones are inspiration and elemental damage with attacks, and blue ones are critical damage support and trinity support. That will bring us around 500-ish % crit multi. So every time you deal 1 damage and crit, you will deal 5. Those are the same for one and the other. The headpiece is basically all of these are kind of static. You can change the headpiece and the boots if you'd like, but it's easier to roll boots. It's easier to roll boots with 1 blue than it is to. It's basically difficult because both are dexterity bases. But let's go with headpiece. Headpiece has life tap, assassin's mark, mark on hit, and flame dash. Anomalous flame dash because of the distance. Now, the reason why you put in life tap is because you want to always cast your assassin's mark. If it's not on life tap support, it's gonna cost mana. It's 51 mana. We have 69 for this build right now. And sometimes when you fire, you won't fire assassin's mark. It just won't cast it. Assassin's mark is a great thing to get more crit and crit multi on a target. Plus also, it gives us enemies cannot deal critical strikes thanks to the Mark Mastery, which is amazing. Let's go to boots. Boots have power charge on crit, frenzy, ensnaring arrow, and mana forged arrows. Mana forged arrows functions like this. You fire a shot a few times, you spend mana, and then other shots are going to be fired from you, which are linked to mana forged arrow support. So those are frenzy and ensnaring arrow. Frenzy gives us frenzy charges, and snaring arrow makes enemies move slower and they take increased projectile damage from attack hits. Power charge on crit means we get an additional power charge, which makes us crit even more. So with all the power charges and everything in the build combined, we are approaching, without the flask, 100% crit, which is phenomenal. But based on the amount of projectiles that we have, it doesn't matter if we are at like 70 and 90% crit, because the amount of projectiles, the chances and odds are that we will crit mostly. But you want to get that as high as possible. So that's for that setup. Now for the Hands of the High Templar, those are your auras and enlighten, so skitterbots, grace, precision, and enlighten. Now, fitting everything in takes a little bit of time and effort, and you can also use tattoos. So let me talk about tattoos a little bit. For tattoos, you will need 8 of Honored Tattoo of the Hatungo, which is 1% increased reservation efficiency of skills. So 8 of those, and you would want 7 of Honored Tattoo of the Tuatara, which gives you 4 to all attributes. So instead of 10 dexterity, we get 4, 4, 4, we get 12 attribute points. That's why we don't need any attributes on the gear. Does it help if we have attributes on the gear? On the boots, yes. On the chest, yes. I haven't taken my sweet time. Okay, we need 25 more dexterity, which basically means, yeah, some tattoos might be removed, might be added. We'll see. I still don't have this point of dexterity, and so on. So that's just min-maxing, and I personally don't want to go there. This total build was roughly 30 divines, between 28 and 32, depending on the time of the league, and depending on your luck finding items. Okay, now, based on... Sorry, I had to take a little break there. Based on the POB, I have made a few things for you here. So in the bottom left part on the POB, you can see the points allocation and what I've done. So this basically is just a small guideline for you to do. Also includes first and second lab sets, and then pre-first lab, and that's it. I've basically made it so it's everything pre-lab, so that you would know to swap to the next one once you get the required lab and so on. Now, when it comes to the tree, just basically follow the tree, whatever I did. But when it comes to items, sorry, the only one that you need is Doomfletch, because it gives you lots of damage, and any other item, because it's empty. That means fit in any item that has appropriate colors or links, life and resistances. That is it. You don't care about anything before level 65. Seriously, I'm not even memeing. I've been playing for 10 hours or 12 hours to finish the campaign the first day of the league. That was really fun, although I was doing the ballista route, which wasn't as fun. But just grab whatever gear you have with resistances, life, cap it out, and that's it. For the second lab, here's the how it looks for the second lab. We will swap increases and reductions to proj speed to apply damage with bows. We'll swap that out later. So that's the tree for the pre-second. Here's the pre-third. We are getting more projectiles and so on. We are starting to get point blank. We are getting ready for the next thing. Now, there are two things, Uber plus Lionize or Uber plus Clusters. Depending on the league and depending on the price, sometimes Clusters can be cheaper than a Lionize Fall Jewel or vice versa. I was looking for Lionize Fall Jewel first. Now, this is a month into the league, and the Lionize Fall Jewel is like 50 chaos. Whatever, you can just buy it outright like this. Nobody gives a damn. But this is with Lionize Jewel, and this is with clusters. So you have one big cluster and two small ones. These small ones are usually 20 chaos each, and the big one can be up to a divine. But you just need martial prowess and feed the fury. You do not need the third one. Third one can be whatever the heck you get. Third one is just basically to to make these 100% there. That's it. Okay. That's for clusters. Now for items here, we have Uber plus Lionized Fall, Uber plus clusters is the same thing. Is 3-step assaults. At that point, they were 20 or 30 Chaos Orbs at the start of the league. Now they're like 1 Chaos Unique. That's basically it. They are very cheap uniques that you will never swap unless you want better stats on it. Like I grabbed better stats on mine. I think I Val Orbed mine for +1 to gem level, but that doesn't really matter. Now, let's go into mapping. Okay, so there's the skills. I just added extra skills. You will follow it through. 6 link is enough. Swap chain with barrage support. Elekit. The reason why I said 6 link is enough here for mapping, that is because the first thing you should prioritize, even before Lionized Jewel, unless it is cheap, is a 6 link with any colors. Well, any colors. Any bases with 2 colors or equivalent white colors. This chest piece I held from day 1, basically day 2, which is 2 blue, 2 red, 2 green. That is it. That's what you want. You do not care about the stats. This could be a tabula rasa, like nobody gives a damn. This was cheaper than a tabula. Tabula the first few days was like 30, 40 chaos. This one was 20, 25, 30, whatever. So do some chaos recipes, follow that around, and that's it. Oh, also this is my previous chest piece. Fire Cold Chaos Resistance, a little bit of life. So there's the difference. So you just upgrade as you go. Same with the gloves. You just upgrade as you go. Pick up small and then go up, up, and up. Okay, now for the auras here, we have Skitterbots, Grace, Precision. Level Precision up to an appropriate level that you feel comfortable with your mana. You should be fine, but just in case, you cannot fit in Aspect of the Spider here. Now, I'm going here with, like, this is mapping and interrogation. This is when you add Secrets of Suffering and so on, when you actually start swapping into the proper build. You have enough crit and so on and so forth. Then there is... Oh, before I go with this one, I have here chosen to go with... Okay, I've removed it here. There we go. Until Uber Lab, which gives you Avatar of the Veil, chance to avoid elemental ailments while phasing and nearby enemies have exposure. You want to run... Oops. You want to run 25% chance to treat enemy monster elemental resistance values as inverted. The moment you pick up this Ascendancy, that's when you want to unclick this point. The reason is the calculation is wrong in Path of Exile's engine. And it sometimes knocks... First it knocks down the resistances, let's say from 50 to 30. And then it inverts them. And sometimes it inverts them and then adds additional. It's just... The math is completely messed up. So sometimes you feel like you're doing no damage. Sometimes you feel like, oh my god, I'm a god. Don't pick this up after the Uber Lab. You're just going to thank yourself. I don't know what's wrong with it, but there's something wrong with it. Anyways, let's go into week 3. This is how my build currently looks like. I'm not touching it anymore because I am done with the league. So I am preparing for other games and so on. I play Path of Exile seasonally. I play one character, and that's basically it. So this is how it looks, and the items that I use are all here, besides, I think, the belt. Yes, the belt is my old belt with 12% evasion rating. That's my old belt. The new belt is basically with increased damage with hits against shield enemies. That's the only difference. Nothing else. I haven't made anything else. Abyssal 2 is a bug, by the way. And these are all my jewels that I use. So in that sense, that's basically it for the build. I haven't even chosen this. Okay, so have fun. There we go. Nice. There's one more thing. There's Theoretic Full Endgame, which is up to 200 divines plus minus. I haven't updated the gear set because good luck. And it's only theoretical, which is get a massive jewel, get level 100, get Forbidden Flesh and Forbidden Flame. I think that's what they're called. Flesh and Flame. Yes, to get your 5th Ascendancy Avatar of the Slaughter. Get extra projectiles with Ramako Makanga, and that's it. I forgot to mention one thing. I forgot to mention Honor Tattoo of the Hunter, which gives you +1 to Dexterity gems, which is your elemental hit. But that should cover everything for the build. Now, there are a few things that are bad with the build that are good with the build. So my closing thoughts will be as this. The guys that have the lightning mana thingy, I found out there's the inner circle you can get in them. That mod is a dangerous mod. Stop running away from it. Get inside of the circle. It's safe. That's one mod. The other mod that's dangerous is if you run Expedition, there is monsters hits cannot be evaded because we're based on solely evasion rating. You are going to die. So don't do that mod. Then when it comes to monsters have increased resistances, it doesn't really matter because we can still go through. But the most dangerous mod, especially if you do it on Metamorph, as you've seen in one of my previous videos, is immunity to critical strikes. Because if it's immune to critical strikes, we technically lose 80% of our damage or so. So yes. Now, for aspect of the spider, as I said, I think I mentioned it, you need Enlighten, you need the, what's it called? You need the necklace, and that's it. You can fit it. You don't have to do the Mind Drink or Mana Master as I did in my previous videos because I've added Life Tap to Assassin's Mark. But other than that, that will be it for this video guide. The build can do a lot of content. It's mainly a mapping build. I wouldn't do Uber bosses with it and so on. You can try, tell me how it goes then. But it's a fun little experiment that I did from scratch. So this is my build from scratch, basically. I just looked up on ways how to craft, as an example, the elemental bow. Or not the elemental bow, pardon, the elemental hit bow. But yeah, it's a cheapo build. It's up to 30 divines. It clears most of the content, no problem. And it's quite enjoyable to play. Now, the only improvements are those divines. Every other upgrade is like 50 divines to get like 50% more damage and more shred and whatnot. But that's just a headache to do for me personally. So yes, next league we'll see what I build. I might do another bow build. I might go back to Ice Shot because of Val Ice Shot. That apparently is good. Might do melee build. This was intentionally made to be a melee build, but I swapped to bow because I really like the bow. But that is it for this build guide. If you have any questions, feel free to post them down below. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. And please do sub if you haven't done so already. So I will post everything down in the description. Have a fun one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next PoE video, which is most likely PoE for Dummies. Bye-bye.